sluggish economy. Inflation, recession hits the land of the free. Standing unemployment lines. Blame the government for hard times. We just get by however we can. We all gotta duck when the shit hits the fan.
Alright folks, we got a situation. Now if there's ever a time to really start getting our prepping asses in gear, now is the time. You know, back in the day, when Obama first became president, you know, one of his things was to get rid of the Second Amendment. You know, he just kind of wanted to toss it. Hillary Clinton wants to toss the Second Amendment. I don't know why. You know, Obama, you know, he's a thug from the inner city. He's probably got one strapped to him right now, some kind of a 9mm or something, 45. And Hillary Clinton, that redneck from Arkansas, you know the Clintons got guns in their houses. But they don't want to have their guns taken away. They want to have your guns taken away. First, Obama was going to try to do it by raising the price of ammunition. That's one of the reasons why you can't find 9mm in Walmart right now. It's really hard to find. The Homeland Security bought 1.5 million rounds of ammunition. Don't know why, but that kind of makes you wonder. It kind of makes you think. But now after that massacre that happened in Colorado over that Batman movie, they're going to try to pass the U.S. Arms Treaty, the UN Arms Treaty through the UN, and use it as an excuse. They're going to try to convince the American people that if this guy didn't have a gun, this never would have happened. But, you know, that's bullcrap. This guy would always have a gun. Criminals get guns. It's when they disarm the citizens is when things go crazy. If there was a guy in that room, if there was people in that movie theater that had guns on them, that had legal concealed carry weapons, if this massacre was to take place at all, it would have been a lot, I'll use the term loosely, a lot better than it really was. Maybe so many people wouldn't have gotten hurt or killed if somebody in that movie theater had a concealed carry weapon. So I'm not saying the answer is more guns. What I'm saying is the answer is not no guns. And, you know, more people probably should have the concealed carry weapons. But what this video really is about mostly is that now you see that the shit is really starting to come down and hit the fan. They're going to try to pass this UN Arms Treaty. God knows what's going to happen. You got almost 300 million guns out there, you know, and nobody's going to want to give them up. I know I'm not going to want to give up my guns. If anybody wants to knock on my door, cops come knock on my door, say, hey, you know, we're here to collect your guns. I don't have any guns. Well, it says here in the registry you got all these guns. Well, I had a party and somebody stole them. Well, why didn't you call the police? Well, for the same reason. You're here to steal my fucking guns. So, you know, you're stealing my guns. They stole my... Nobody's getting my guns. That's just it. I'll get rid of them somehow. I'll hide them, but nobody's going to get rid of my guns. And I'm sure all you people out there are not going to want to give up your guns either. What this is about, this video, I know I'm rambling. You know, I'm a little upset, but, you know, it's about... It's just start prepping, man. And, you know, it's coming down to the wire that we're gonna need stuff. You know what I mean? So if you were to go out right now and started collecting guns, right now the record sales since that movie shooting, record sales in Florida, I think yesterday was like 200 and no, it was like 2,300, over 2,300 handgun approvals or something like that. I mean, it's just record numbers of guns are being sold. And you know, Obama, you know, he's the world's best gun salesman. For a guy who's trying to get rid of your guns, he seems to be selling an awful lot of them. But again, there I go again. You need to start prepping. So, okay, so let's say you don't have guns. What kind of guns do you want to buy first? Well, the smart answer would probably be something to defend your family and your home. Okay, you know, this is what I have. You know, to defend the inside of my house. I got this is the Mossberg 500 Persuader. It's a 12 gauge. We'll go on ammo in a second, but this defends my house. They say if the shit was to hit the fan and you know, there was no food out on the shelves and all that, well, you know, you need a 22. You know, with the 22, you're going to eat. That's what somebody on YouTube says. That you're going to eat if you have a 22. And theoretically, that's true. But you got to remember, if everybody loses their job, everybody's going to be going out shooting all the small animals. So you're going to have very little chance really of doing much hunting. If you are hunting, you're going to meet a lot of people out in the woods with guns also. That might not be the safest thing in the world. So you really should start prepping for food first. Just get your food stores squared away, and then later on, if the economic collapse or whatever situation that we're fighting to survive for continues, the animals will start coming back, and we will be able to hunt. And the 22, the Ruger 1022 is definitely a good gun for that. With that, this is the Harrington & Richardson breech loading 20 gauge. It's another good hunting gun. Okay, the Mosin Nagant. This gun is just fucking scary, man. This gun is just badass. This is the Russian gun, the Russian World War II gun. This is the one that chased the Nazis back to Berlin with. This is you're probably not going to do much hunting with it right off the bat. If the shit hits the fan, if the shit doesn't hit the fan, this is an excellent hunting weapon because it's very close to a .30-06. It's bolt action, very reliable. But in the shit hit the fan scenario, this is probably best to ward off people from a distance, to let them know if you see a mob of assholes coming down the road to get your shit. You're on top of your roof. You crack a few of these past them. They're gonna think twice. This is just badass. So for self-defense, that's good for the kind of defense that it just keeps people away. And the best defense is you don't want to kill nobody. You definitely don't want to kill a dad who's trying to get milk for his kid, even if he's trying to get your milk. That's just wrong. You know what I mean? The guy's just, he's put against the wall. He's either gonna die for milk for his children, or his children are going to die, so, of starvation. So, think twice before you shoot somebody. That is definitely good to ward off people. Keep them out of your home. This is good for when they're in your home. If anybody's in your home, nobody's going to get to your family with this thing. That's just fucking badass. Okay? Handguns. If you don't have much money, this is an inexpensive handgun. That is the Jimenez Arms JA9. It's a 9mm. Very good gun. It's got a lot of mixed reviews on it. It's very heavy, very inexpensive, but it's very accurate. It holds 10 or 12 rounds. I don't remember. It comes with 2 magazines. $160 I think I paid for that, brand new. Again, it's very accurate. It's a good range gun, just to take to the range and and practice with. It's really good for that. When you get your concealed weapon, concealed carry, this one's very light. It's a Taurus PT709 Slim, 9mm. Another very good gun. You'll probably need some sight adjustments when you buy it, but overall it's a very good gun. And over there, of course, is the legendary 1911. You can get those in 22 to 45. It's another very good handgun. This gun is probably too heavy for concealed carry. That gun is perfect for concealed carry. That one's kind of in the middle. It's a little big gun. If you're a big guy, you can carry that. You can carry that outside the waistband in a jacket, whatever you want to do. These are the guns that I feel. Now, there's a lot of people out there. Well, what about your AK-47, your AR-15? Me personally, I don't have one. So I'm not gonna sit there. I'm not gonna sit there and say just because I don't have one that they're no good. That's, somebody comes to your house and you pull out an AR-15, they know you mean fucking business. I just don't have one. Would I like to have one? Damn straight. Would I get one? Damn straight. But I don't have one here to show you. However, I do think they're a good deterrent weapon. Just like this is a good deterrent weapon. This was $130. That can of ammo for it was 444 rounds of armor-piercing bullets. This is not the armor-piercing stuff. This is actually this. Okay? But these are the rounds. This is the size of the round that goes into that weapon. And that spam can's got 440 rounds of armor-piercing bullets for $100. It just doesn't come with a can opener. It's kind of bizarre, but it doesn't come with a can opener. But you'll get it open with a chisel and hammer or whatever you got to do. You can actually just take a grinder and grind down the ends of it, the edge of it, and it'll just come off. But with that said, if you don't have much money, this is a very good deterrent weapon. The AR-15 or any one of those battle rifles, the AK-47, that is a good deterrent weapon. I always felt if I didn't have one and the shit hit the fan, and I needed you know, some kind of a battle rifle, an assault rifle, I can just take it off my dead enemy. That's it. You know, this gun right here will get me an assault rifle real quick. If anybody comes into my house, this is going to get my assault rifle. This here, you carry around with. This I keep in my car. That's my girlfriend's gun. Now, as far as ammunition goes, you know, there's a lot to be said about ammunition. How much ammunition do you want? Well, you know, somebody said 3,000 rounds, 4,000 rounds per weapon. People say 1,000 rounds per weapon. I say 2,000 rounds. I kind of figure in the middle. I got 2,000 rounds of 9mm. But I got two 9mm guns, so I probably should have 4,000 rounds. Going by that theory, I don't think I really need 4,000 rounds of if you're a sufficient shooter, you don't go to range as much as you used to. 2,000 rounds is plenty, because the price will skyrocket of ammunition. Obama's still going to raise that price of. He's still going to raise the tax on ammunition. It's going to be very hard to get. It's getting hard to get right now. So if you see it, grab as much as you possibly can. Even if you gotta go on back order online, just grab the ammunition. What's good ammunition? Well, any good ammunition, you know. Again, there's gonna be people saying, well, you know, don't get that Walmart stuff, the Remington white box, and you know, get the hollow points. This is hollow points. This ammo right here. This is very good ammo. This is the Remington Golden Saber. Okay, it's not the plus P ammo. I figure without the plus P, I got 5 more rounds for a little bit less money. This is good stuff. This is made to stay inside the body. That's why these hollow points are good, because they really don't. That much of any of this bullet will come out through the back of a person. If you shoot somebody, most of this round is going to stay in their body, and it won't cause any damage to anybody standing behind them. Whereas something like this round, this is also a hollow point. These rounds are just regular, well, you get my drift. You know, just, you know, they're around the bolt type rounds, full metal jacket. It'll go through somebody. This will definitely go through somebody, because it's not going to open up like a mushroom. It's going to go right through somebody. So that's one thing you kind of want to put into consideration. You know, you can spend a lot more on hollow points. But again, they're dangerous to passerby. The non-hollow points are more dangerous to people passing by. The regular full metal jacket ammunition, I think that's what this is. This is going to go through somebody, and somebody's going to get hurt. Okay. Shotgun ammo. This is the 20 gauge ammo. This is for birds. I really don't see myself using this for self-defense, so I'll get hunting ammo. This one here, I got double hot buck, 2 3/4, 9 pellets in it. This is 3-inch. This is probably best for home defense, because it's got less power. It's got enough power for takedown, but not so much it's going to go through a wall and, God forbid, hurt a family member. So these are, you know, basically. Oh yeah, here's more here too. This is kind of cool. For the 22, these are some stinger ammo. And this is these are kind of cool. These are actually little shotguns, little shotgun rounds. That's good for varmint control. These are really cool. Keep those around. I think the window's opened up, but that's cool to keep those around too. So, you know, that's what you're gonna start collecting guns now. You know, but you kind of need to start prepping. You know, and you know, it's more than just guns. You know what I mean? But this video is mostly about guns. I don't want to go too far into it, but you know, I would say you want to start storing up on the silver, you start storing up on the gold. You know, just the crap hit the fan. You need to barter. You know, you got some silver coins. You got a whole wad of gold. You know, this will take you a long way. God forbid something happens. You want to keep maybe some knives around. You know, this Bowie knife. This is just a typical machete, but you know, you go running down the road with one of these, chasing somebody, they're gonna know you mean business. It's all about meaning business. You know, you might feel you need to you know, stock up on your moonshine. You know, that's a good bartering tool. You might want to stock up on things like GPSs, you know, and two-way weather radios, you know. Put the EDC together that we spoke about in one of my previous videos. You know, these are things you want to consider. You want to start thinking about. You know, you're just getting into prepping now. Where do I start? Well, you want to start with defense, and you want to start with saving up food and water. Start squaring that away. The more food you need, the more defense you need. The more defense you get, the more secure you're going to feel about getting other things. You know, and the more guns you have, the more people are going to want your guns. So you set up a nice EDC kit. You know, get that going. Start stockpiling up on your guns and your ammo. Start stockpiling up on your food. Start stockpiling up on your barter items, moonshine and band-aids and things of that nature. You know, start getting your gold together. Or don't start hawking your gold. How about that? If you got gold and silver right now, don't start hawking it. Keep it around. Well, that's my rant for today. You know, I hope you learned something from this. If you didn't, I'm terribly sorry. You know, I'll try better next time. But you know, get your guns in order. They're gonna try to take them from you one way or another. This administration is gonna try to take your guns, and if it does, it's not gonna happen before the election. I'll tell you that. So you got some time. If you got some money and you got some time, start getting your guns and ammo now, because after the election, if Obama wins, Obama and Hillary are going to try to get your guns somehow, some way. They're going to try to get your guns, whether they're going to outlaw you buying them, whether they're going to try to get the UN to control them. Imagine UN officers knocking on your door saying, "Give me your guns." I mean, what is so more unconstitutional, un-American as that? As foreign invaders trying to take your guns away, even if they're doing it through, you know, through American law enforcement. You know, I mean, fucking come on, man. People knock on your door taking, man, that's bullshit. They're going to try to take your guns away. One way or another, they're going to try to get your guns. Whether they're going to make it so expensive or so hard for you to get one, or they're going to raise the price of the ammunition. Honestly, I don't see people knocking on my door looking for my guns. You know, there's just millions and millions of gun owners out there that are not going to let their guns go. And, you know, once one official knocks on one door to say, "Here, I'm here to collect guns," it's going to spread like wildfire. And everybody's going to know that they're coming for your guns. And they're just going to get rid of them. They're going to hide them. So, anyway, with that said, here's where to start. Guns and ammo. Okay? Till next time, good luck. Peace out.